Okay, for those of you that have ever seen the film Any Given Sunday, there is probably one of the most amazing motivational speeches given by Al Pacino to his team before they go out to play in the Super Bowl. Now, what's important about what he says and when he says it before they go out to play this game of football. And what he's doing, he's talking to these people about the difference that they can make can be as little as that, an inch. Because life is a game of inches, and it's all those inches that when they add up, they make the difference to whether you are successful or not, happy or sad, simple, wealthy or not, healthy or not. And this is all it's about. And it's these little things that you do on a daily basis that can have a massive impact to your life and the people around you. So what we've done is we've taken that video, and this is not copyright. We're giving full credit to Al Pacino in his speech. But we came up with yesterday 50 things that you can do just to make a difference to your life, and we're going to talk through them. You may not be able to see this flip chart, so I'm going to talk through them. It's titled Life's a Game of Inches. The first thing before we get started anywhere, it's very important that you love and respect yourself. Okay? You need to hear that. You need to love and respect yourself first. Right? And that's important. These next 50 inches are going to help that to happen. But that is going to be, you go through this, you are going to feel better about yourself. Because when you do, everything comes together for you. Okay? Now, number one, dress. You won't be able to read it, but I'm going to read it out to you. Dress for the occasion. What I mean by that is when you're going to a business meeting, dress like you're going to a business meeting. The video with Al Pacino, all his guys there, they're not sitting there in suits, are they? They're not sitting there in hoodies and jeans. They're sitting there in their team colours. They're sitting there with all their padding, with their numbers, everything. They're ready. These guys are ready to go out on the pitch. They're prepared. They've got their suits on, right? They've got their armour on. They've got their costume on. And when we're dealing with clients, we have to adopt that role, okay? So I am a bit of a tart when it comes to wearing clothes. I do like clothes. I do spend probably more money on clothes than I should. But I always think it's a mark of respect to clients that you turn up looking smart and sharp. So you want to take a leaf out of that book and make sure that when you go out, you look the best that you can look. And probably one of the comparisons that I would make is one of the days when you take probably the most effort, if you've ever done this or you are ever going to do it, would be if you got married. You girls will go to every length to look $1 million on that day. Not that you don't every other day, but on that day, that's a special day. And you guys should make sure that you look $1 million for yourself, but also your bride, okay? So that's really important. And I try and adopt that strategy every day and think, okay, I want to dress good and look good for me, but I also want to dress and look good for the people that I'm going to come into contact with and for people that are important to me, okay? So make sure your clothes are always clean, make sure they're always pressed, and make sure your shoes are polished, guys, all right? The next thing down again is personal hygiene, right? I've worked with some people that smell over the years, none in the team that we have here. I've worked with people that have had bad breath. I've worked with people that have eaten too much garlic the night before. I've worked with people that have had a drink lunchtime and then they smell of whiskey or beer all afternoon. Guys and girls, that's not impressive. So make sure that when you go out, you wear a decent aftershave or a decent perfume. Make sure that your breath is fresh. Make sure you use a deodorant a skincare regime, right? So that you look fresh. Get a decent haircut. If you're going to have a beard, make sure it looks smart and trim. If not, be clean shaven. That goes for you guys as well as the ladies. Point 3 here, attention to detail. Right, all those things are detail. Make sure you apply that attention to detail to everything before you step out of your front door. Number 4, this is a big thing with me, always aim to be early. If you make an appointment with a client or a colleague or whoever or a friend, whatever it is, make sure you're early. That way you'll always be on time. Too many people say to me, I'm running late. And all you're doing is telling your brain to run late, or I'm going to be on time. No, you won't, right? Aim to be early. Therefore, you will always be on time. Being early, there's always things to do. You can always, and you've got to allow for things that can go wrong in a journey. So always aim to be 15, 20 minutes early for your appointment. Number 5, I've advised you all to read Ben Angel and get the course, Unstoppable. I've also advised you to read Headstrong by Dave Asprey. Both these guys have gone through the process of understanding how the body works and how it reacts to certain things, like certain foods, molds in foods that you don't even know is there, the foods that you should avoid, the foods that can give you a brain fog, the drink that can give you a brain fog, but also what the body is lacking in. In our modern day society, we have so much pesticides and stuff put on our food that the food loses its natural goodness. So their advice is to take certain supplements. I've told you about this. If you want to know about the supplements I take, please let me know. Number 6, meditating. This is not some Woodstock hippie thing. This is just about decluttering your mind. For those of you that are on the Ben Angel course, you'll be doing 10 or 20 minutes of this every day. If you're not doing this, you're missing a trick, guys. This is why world leaders, multi-million pound business owners and high performance athletes meditate every day. So why aren't you? So if you're missing out on this, when you're in the Ben Angel course, follow what he says. Don't think you haven't got time, make time. Because when you declutter your brain with the meditation, the rest of your day will become crystal clear. Number 7, get up early. You know, I'm one who likes to rise early. I like to be up usually 5:30, which means by the time that you're watching this, I've done 2.5 hours of work. I've been to the gym. I've had my coffee. I've written out my goals, this, that, and the other. I've done some meditation, and you are just crawling out of bed, right? So I'm always going to be miles ahead, and you add those 2.5, 3 hours up every day for the whole year. That's a whole load of extra stuff that I'm doing before you've even started. So try and aim to get up early. On the other side of that coin, make sure you get enough sleep. I was getting by on 3 to 4 hours, and I started to realise that's not good for me. Did some research, got a sleep app. I'm now getting 7 to 8 hours every night, good, solid sleep. And I advise you to do the same, okay? Number 9, love this, exercise. Not everybody likes exercising. If you're carrying too much timber, you'll end up needing a hip or knee replacement. You're putting excess strain on your heart. So my advice is, and again, talk to a doctor first, but make sure you get 30 minutes of good exercise every day. It can be a brisk walk, it can be a gentle jog, it can be a bit of Zumba, it can be a bit of trampolining, it could be going to the gym and doing some weights. Get a sweat on, get 30 minutes, because the flip side of doing all that exercise is the endorphins and the serotonin that's going to rush around your body, making you feel good. These are all the inches, guys. Number 10, bulletproof coffee. I've been drinking this every day since the 3rd of October last year, and it has made a significant difference to the way that I perform and at the level that I perform and the amount of work that I get through. Bulletproof Coffee is in the Dave Asprey book, Headstrong. My advice is get on it. Educate yourself. Leaders are readers, as they say, and you'll know if you've been to my office, it's full of books. And if you were to look on my phone, it's full of Audible. So every time that I'm exercising, either I'm in the gym or I'm out running, I've got stuff playing in my ears that is motivational, instructional, educational. It's all books. They're all on the Audible library. When I get an Audible book, I tend to buy the hard copy too, because I also sometimes I like to write notes and stuff in the margins, and you can't always find an interesting paragraph again in Audible as quick as you can in the book. But it's a good use of time. And if you spend any amount of time in the car, in the day, or in your van, or wherever you are, have Audible playing all the time. You will get an education. You spend 2 hours a day, that's 10 hours a week of learning. You will pick up so much stuff and you won't even realise. Right. I'm very much adopting what we call a can-do world. I'm not negative. I think that I can achieve anything if I put my mind to it, and so can you. So we adopt a can-do approach here, not a can't-do. I like to think we are solution driven. All right. Now that's not just in life, but in business as well. There's nothing that we can't solve personally or business wise if you adopt the right approach. Number 13 is adopt the 45% rule. Again, this links back to exercise and how you feel about yourself. If you want to know where you are, in how fit you are and how much body weight you're carrying, if you get one of these, it's just a tape measure. If you work out how high you are, how tall you are, and then you take 45% of that height and then put the tape measure around your tummy button, if it's 45% of your height, then you are spot on the money. We did this yesterday in here, and 3 gentlemen all need to lose 10 inches. That's 10 inches, which is like that, of fat around their middle, right? That's massive, isn't it? 10 inches of extra body weight that they're carrying, 10 inches that's putting strain on all their bodily organs, knees and hips as well. Not good. And it's not easy to get to 45% of your body weight or your height, but make a difference to get towards it. Right, number 14. I get up early, and when I get up early, I plan my day. You've all been given, I don't know where it is, my planner. Oh, it's in my briefcase. Right, you've all had the planner from me. My advice is use it on a daily basis, because if you do your meditation and you'll have clarity, if you write out what you're doing on a daily basis, if you run a diary, you can see where you are at any one moment. It's good to write it out. It's also good to use an electronic diary, but it's good to write it out. The planner that I've given you all also has a load of mindset questions, and you've all got it. And if you haven't, you need to talk to me, all right? And I'll show you where to get one. I write out my goals on a daily basis, and the reason that I do that is just I want to remind myself every day of what I'm doing. This doesn't have to take ages. You can do this in 2 minutes. And funny enough, the planner that I've given you has a section on doing that on a daily basis. There are just 3 lines for maybe the 3 most important goals to you right now. And the reason that you write them out is because it crystallizes it in here, and it means your subconscious brain goes to work on it. Right, number 16. Show gratitude for what you already have in your life. So many people aren't grateful for what they've got. They aren't grateful for their relationships they're in. They aren't grateful to their husband, their wife, their boyfriend, their girlfriend. They aren't grateful to their children, their parents. They aren't grateful for the roof over their head, the car they drive, the business or the job that they've got. Be grateful, right? Just take 2 minutes a day and write out what you're grateful for. It'll make you smile. It will turn the corners of your mouth up. It will make you feel better about yourself. Right? Because guess what? There's already somebody in a worse position than you. All right, number 17. Listen to motivational stuff. I showed you, I listened to that Al Pacino clip pretty much every day. And if it doesn't make the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end, you must be made of stone, right? Because I find it unbelievable, and it just always sets me up to have a good day. So when I'm having my bulletproof coffee in the morning, 5:30, 6:30, or whatever it is, I just go onto YouTube and type in inspiration or motivation, and up comes loads of stuff that you can have a look at. It's good. It's worth doing, right? Because it just puts you in the right state. It's those inches that are going to make the difference. Number 18, this goes without saying, eat well, right? If you've got a nice car, you don't put the wrong fuel. You don't fill your car up with syrup, do you? You put the right petrol, the right diesel in it. You don't put vinegar in it. The body is the same. It's like a Formula One racing car. If you want it to run efficiently, you've got to service it and you've got to feed it the right stuff. The body is no different. Stay hydrated. Humans, we need about 3 litres a day. Right? I drink 2 bottles of this a day. I like this because it's fizzy and it fills me up, because I get a bit bored with just water. So make sure, I've got a client now who's got gallstones as a result. She doesn't drink any water, and she's been in incredible pain because of all of this. So my advice to you is just keep yourself hydrated. It's good for your skin, and it just flushes the toxins out of your body. One for the ladies. According to Dave Asprey, dark chocolate is really good for you. It's the stuff that's contains 70% cocoa powder and above. So that's the stuff you want to get. So gentlemen, next time you're in Sainsbury's, go and pick up a bar of dark chocolate for your woman. Ladies, next time you're in Sainsbury's, go and pick up a bar of dark chocolate for your man, and let him have a square a day. Ladies, you have half a square a day. Some of you are going to hate me for this, and everything in moderation. So just try and limit this. I unfortunately see too many people that are on this every single day. Alcohol, right? Alcohol's great, let your hair down occasionally, but don't become reliant on it, because guess what? You won't find the answer in the bottom of this, and in the morning when you wake up, you're going to feel like shit. And guess what? You were looking for an answer, you didn't get it, the answer's still there, but you now feel worse. So try and reduce this to a time when you're celebrating, not when you're freaking miserable. Right, right, this is the other one. Again, everybody's going to hate me. Sugar. It's more poisonous for you than cocaine. So, again, we all love sweets. Look at these. Right, we've got Parma Violets in here. We've got Double Dip. We've got Refreshers. We've got more Parma. I've got more Parma Violets than I know what to do with. I bloody love them. But I know they're loaded with sugar. But I get fed these on a daily basis. No, I don't. Sugar's not good for you. Sweets, you know, they make your teeth fall out, make you rot. And the cancer puts fat in your body. The sugar puts fat in your body. So try to reduce the amount of sugar that you have. You'd be amazed what sugar is in. It's bad for you. It's up to you. Be a giver. This is something that I've always done. I'm very free with my time, my money, and my expertise. And the reason I'm like that is because it's the law of attraction. Now, what I mean by that is the more time I give people, the more time I get back. Whatever you put out there in life is what you're going to get back. So if you're sending out love and happy thoughts to people, you're going to get that back. If you're being miserable and sending out all of that, you're going to get that back in spades. And it's the same with expertise. The more that you use your expertise to help people, when you give people what they want, you'll get what you want. And when you're free with your money, when you give away money, when you're generous and do things not because you want something in return, do things just because you want to do something. If you want to treat somebody to a present, do it, right? Don't do it because you want something back. Do it because you want to see the smile on that person's face. Do it because you care for them. Do it because you think it will make a difference. It's the little things that make the difference. And when you're generous with all of these things, everything you give out, if you do it from here, right, you're going to get it back multiple tenfolds in time. And I promise you, it absolutely works. So be free with your time, your money, and your expertise. Focus on what you want. We talked about goal planning down here, and so many people that I know struggle with goal planning because they don't know what they want. So there's an easy way to do this. Have a think about what you're thinking right now and what you're focusing on, right? And some of you will be focusing on the fact that you're skint, that you're not earning the income that you want to earn. You may be focusing on the fact that you're overweight. You may be focusing on the fact you're unhappy. There's a whole load of things that you could be focusing on. Now, what you need to do, instead of focusing that, is flip it in reverse and go, right, instead of saying, why am I so fat? Ask myself, right, how can I be my ideal body shape? Instead of asking yourself, why am I so skint? Ask yourself, how can I make more money? So when you ask the brain certain questions, it doesn't know whether you're telling the truth or not. So you can lie to your subconscious, and your subconscious brain will figure out the answers that you need to make you healthy, to make you fit, to make you happy. Right? Because if you focus on the negative side, you're just going to attract more of it, and you don't want that. So it's very important to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Number 25, ask better questions of yourself. I'll give you an example. I had this recently when I was getting 3 to 4 hours sleep. And instead of saying to myself, why can't I sleep at night? I asked myself, how can I get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep? And I went onto the internet, I did some research, and I had to look at the area where I was sleeping, my bedroom, and I went out and I stripped the bed off, and I went and got a new mattress topper and a new duvet, new pillows, and a beautiful silk eiderdown cover, quilt cover, sheets, pillowcases, because apparently sleeping on silk is good for regulating your body temperature, and it's good for your hair, and it's especially good for you ladies. So my advice is go out and get some a better environment to sleep in, because you're going to feel fresher during the day. Lower the room temperature at night. Make sure you've got plenty of plants in your room. Make sure that you have a shower before you go to bed at night, and make sure you declutter your brain before you go to sleep, so that you can actually work. So you can actually sleep well without waking up having loads of things going on. So ask better questions. That's an example, and you can apply that to anything, whether it's relationships, health, or business. My tech team have just arrived. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning.
We're just reshooting the video. I'll explain why. Another little inch. Clean your bloody car. I look at some of your cars, and they're a disgrace. Mine included at the moment.
And mine.
And tech team. Bit of advice my dad gave me, probably the only bit of sound advice my dad gave me, bless him, was he was in charge of hiring and firing carpenters, builders, and you name it. So when he used to interview them, whether he liked the guy or not, he always walked every single guy out to his car or van when they were leaving to have a look at the state of their vehicle. And he always said to me that anybody whose car was a mess with loads of shit in it, loads of stuff in this, picture, the Sun newspaper, betting slips, cans of Coke all across the dashboard. You've all seen builders that work like this. He wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. He said because they're disorganised and they're a mess. And when you bring, if that's how they live, they then bring that mess to the job, and then that's the mess that they'll leave for the clients. So go and get your car cleaned, valeted and polished, and guess what? It doesn't have to drive much better, even if we're not opening the hood and tweaking anything under the bonnet. Your car will drive better just because you've washed it and it's nice and it smells nice. Get one of those smelly things in the car, right? Just make yourself feel good. Good morning. Right. Get yourself a decent briefcase. Don't turn up to an appointment with a carrier bag. It's all about presentation. Okay, that is so important. So make sure you look good. Make sure you get yourself a decent pen. Example, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I can't remember now, I was buying a Range Rover from Land Rover in Guildford, and I was just about to sign on the dotted line to take a £72,000 Range Rover Sport off the forecourt. And I'm in a prestigious garage and I'm working with a salesman, buying a prestigious car, and he was nicely dressed and he gave me a 4p bic to sign the form. And I said to him, "What are you doing?" I said, look at all of this. Get yourself a decent pen, because it's all part of the image. And a year later, when I popped back to the garage, he saw me and he came out and he showed me that he'd bought himself a Mont Blanc pen. You don't have to buy a Mont Blanc pen, but don't use a bic when you're working with clients. Show a bit of class. 29, this is somebody around the table today came up with recap, and what they meant by that is when we've been to a team meeting like they have today and we've made loads of notes, don't just shut the book and don't open those again and don't ever read them, because you might as well have not bothered to come here because you're not going to act on it, right? So all you've got is a notebook that is worth hundreds of thousands of pounds of ideas and my experience of 35 years of being in business, and you've done nothing with it. So what's the point? So make sure that you go back and you read and you take action. These are just inches, guys, and all these little inches are going to make the difference to your life. Right, nicotine spray. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, and I never intend to. And in a cigarette, you've got about 5,000 chemicals that are harmful to you, which is why people die of lung cancer from cigarettes. However, Dave Asprey says that nicotine taken in its purest form, like this in one of these Nicorette sprays, is actually good for you, and it can enhance your brain power. So if you find that you're in a stressful position or at a time when you need to give a speech or a presentation, and you just want to sharpen yourself up, one spray of this under the tongue. Do not do what I did, which was take 3 chunks of this straight out the packet, nearly blew my head off. So I was spaced out for the rest of the day. 1. Number 31, be disciplined. For those of you that are struggling in life, it's because you lack discipline, you lack follow through, you lack consistency, because you try something and because you don't see an immediate result, you give up. The easiest thing I would say to you is people that are looking to lose weight and they go on a diet. And because they haven't got a 6-pack by the end of the week, that don't work. So they give up, and then what they end up doing is putting more and more weight. It's the same with calling, phone calling. If you've sent out a load of letters to accountants and you sent out 10 letters and you rung them all and you didn't get an appointment with any of them, you'll give up. And that's the difference. I don't give up, because they were just, those 10 no's were just 10 no's to me getting a yes. And that one yes could be worth an absolute fortune. Okay, so you just have to keep doing it. There's a picture, I've seen it on the internet before, of a guy who's dug a hole in the side of a rock face, mining, and he's digging, and he's dug and dug and dug, and he's got so far, and just there's a wafer thin wall of earth. Behind that wafer thin wall of earth is a ton of diamonds, and he's turned around in the picture and he's walking away, and he's left the diamonds that far away. In fact, you know how far it was away? It was an inch, because life's a game of inches. So discipline is the only way that you are going to get where you need to be. Reward yourself. We are here for just such a short time on this planet. So while you're here, make sure it's a good time. So if you do a good job, reward yourself with a goal. It doesn't have to be a new Rolex or a Ferrari. It can be something meaningful. It could be taking your kids out to the cinema. It could be taking your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend out for a nice dinner. But make sure that if you set yourself tasks and you achieve them, you reward yourself by doing something nice. Get that balance right, that work-life balance. You're not just here to work 100 hours a week with no quality of life, working every night, running around like a lunatic, because some of you do. And I've done it. And that's not what it's about. 33, self-talk. My God, this is probably the biggest one that does my head in. Jesus, and we all do it. I know I do it, right? What you tell yourself, right, is what your brain listens to. So if you tell yourself, I'm a disaster, your brain will go, okay, we can make that happen for you. If you tell yourself, I'm a failure, your brain will go, right, let's just put that to work for you. So all of those negative things you tell your brain will act on it. However, what if you were to tell yourself, and the people that do this, you know who you are, and some of you are world class at it. You could be an Olympic champion at self-talk. But guess what? If you were to adopt a different strategy, still do the self-talk, but say different things to yourself, your brain doesn't know you're lying. You can tell your brain anything you want, and it will listen and it will believe you. You keep telling it that you're good. You keep telling it that you're successful. You keep telling it that you are the best estate planning consultant. Your brain will listen, and the subconscious brain will mean that you will act in a way that will achieve that goal. So wherever you want to apply your self-talk to, you find yourself doing it, ask your family around you to call you up when you're doing the bad self-talk. That is such a little simple inch to change, and it can make this much difference. That was number 33. 34, practice. If you don't practice your skills or newfound skills, you lose them. You snooze, you lose. So this job is not like riding a bike. Right? You need to keep on the edge with this. You need to practice what you do. Selling is an art. Fact finding is an art. Getting on the telephone is an art. The more that you do it, the better you become. Why? If you look at professional golfers, they practice every day. Snooker players practice every day. Footballers train and practice. So we should do the same as business people. We should practice. We should practice our art. We should practice conversations. We should practice telephone techniques. We should practice open questions. We should practice fact finding. We should practice drawing presentations. Without practice, you cannot expect to walk into someone's home and deliver at a high level. If you want to know how to practice, if you want to gain those skills, just talk to me. I'm here, been doing it for 35 years. I've got the hang of it now. 35, product knowledge. Watch the webinars, guys, on the Countrywide intranet. 60 of them, right? There is masses of knowledge there that you can learn. And when you get the knowledge, you then get the next thing, which is confidence. You are all confident at certain things, right? Because they are things that you can do, right? When you were a baby, you learnt to walk, right? Now you kept falling over and you stood up and you fell over again, you stood up, and you fell over again. But you didn't stop. Now you don't even think about it because you have the confidence. So you can get out of bed in the morning and walk across the floor, right? So confidence comes from practice. Confidence comes from doing things over and over again. But the only way you're going to get confident is by doing it in the first place. And I find the best place to do that is practice on your own, practice with friends, practice with colleagues. Don't practice with clients, because if you cock it up, you don't get a chance to get it back. 37, think before you speak. In my time, when I was younger, I had a bit of a smart mouth, and I would open my mouth and it would get me into trouble. And I would say things I would probably regret later on, because If you say something that comes out of your mouth and it's not nice, once that's come out, you can't always take it back. You can say sorry and that person might forgive you, but think before you speak sometimes. And also think in the sales process. If someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, give yourself thinking time. Bat the question back to the client while you think. And while you do that, your subconscious brain will go into the filing cabinet in your brain, find the answer. Now, if you don't know the answer, tell the client you don't know the answer. And we'll come on to that in a bit. Number 38, use analogies. I am the king of analogies. In my belief, I'm better than anybody at analogies, and I can come up with an analogy to get something over to a client in any situation. Again, the reason I'm good at that is because I've practiced it and I've used it for 35 years to be able to explain something, to be able to overcome an objection in the selling environment. Right? Give you a quick, simple example. One of the team had a lead, and the lead said to the consultant, "What's it going to cost?" The consultant didn't know how to answer it, so I said, "Let me deal with it." So I got on the phone to the prospect and said, "Hi, my name's Tony. I'm the Managing Director of Connaught Corporate Solutions. I understand you want to know what it's going to cost to work out your estate planning." And the lady said, "That's correct." I said, "Brilliant." I said, "Can you just hear me a second and cut me some slack here while I just say, you know when you ring the doctor and you book an appointment?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Because you're not feeling very well?" They said, "Yeah." He said, "Does the doctor just tell you what medicine to take before he's seen you?" She said, "No." I said, "Okay, what does the doctor do?" She said, "Well, he sees me." I said, "And what does he do when he sees you?" "Well, he talks to me." "Okay. And what else does he say? Does he ask you how you're feeling?" She said, "Yeah." So sometimes does he take some measurements like blood pressure? "Yeah." Does he maybe take bloods? Could do. Does he look in your ear and your eyes? Yes. Does he ask you how you're feeling? Does he ask you if you've got any other prescriptions or medication that you're taking? Yes. Does he ask you about things that are going on in the exterior world of your life that may be affecting you? Yes. Okay. Then what does he do? Well, sometimes he'll write out a prescription. Sometimes he'll give me medicine. Or sometimes he'll say, "I've got to come back for further tests." I said, "Exactly." And that's exactly what we do, madam, because I don't know how sick you are at the moment. So my job is to come and see you and talk to you. My job is to find out what you've already done at the moment and what you've got in place, because I don't want to give you something that's in conflict with what you've already got or is in conflict with what you want to achieve. And it's only when I've done that and I've gone away and done my research and put a plan together, can I tell you what it's going to cost you. So the meeting that you're going to have with us is without obligation, it's at our expense. Is that okay? Everybody says yes to that. And that's an analogy that I've used all my life. So practice them. Build trust. I build trust because I post on social media a lot, and I have been doing the job for a long time, and I have credibility. You build credibility. When you're new, it's hard to build credibility straight away, but you get it, and the easiest way to get it is to keep posting on social media, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn. If you write little blogs, if you write little posts with videos attached on social media, people will start to see you on a regular basis. And when they see you on a regular basis talking, you gain authority. And when you gain authority, you build trust. And if you continually provide clients with constant help and support, and if you're constantly posting without asking for business, you'll build more and more trust. And then those clients will come to you, and then they will buy from you. That's how you build trust. Be honest. Do not lie in this business. Do not lie in life, really, if you can help it. Sometimes if your wife or girlfriend says, "Does my bum look big in this?" I'll let you decide what the answer is, but don't say your bum looks big in everything, darling. Or when they say, "Which pair of shoes do I wear, the red or the blue?" Right? These are the white lies that you don't always be honest about. But in the business environment, when someone asks you a question, if you don't know, this is the answer that I always give. And I will always say, do you know what? That's a great question. I've not had that one before in 35 years, so fantastic. I don't know the answer, but we will know the answer. If you can leave that with me, I'll get back to you as soon as I can, probably by close of play tomorrow. Is that okay? Can we move on? Brilliant. So again, don't be honest. Number 41, always show empathy for clients. Let them talk. Right? When a client is talking, you want to get them talking as much about themselves as you can by empathizing. Right? Just let them talk. And it's a scale skill, which we'll be doing some training on. Again, working with clients, you've got to find what the client's Achilles heel is. The Achilles heel is the thing that will make them act. It will make them take action. It's the call to action. So when you find that Achilles heel, whatever it is, right, whether it's protecting their children or their wife or their husband or their family home or their business or their aunt or their pet chihuahua, whatever it is, you pour petrol on it and you make it painful. Rub salt and pour acid and vinegar all over it. Make it painful. Again, this is an art and we do training on it. But once you get the client's Achilles heel, they will always buy from you. Right, time management, or I've got on here, work smart. I'm just gonna have a sip of water because I told you to stay hydrated and these are the inches that make the difference. Just gonna drink an inch of water. Okay, time management, as you all know, anybody who knows me, who's close to me, has known me over the last decade, 11 years ago, whatever it was, went through a pretty shitty divorce and ended up losing my nice house and ended up, at the same time, my business partner wanted out of the business. So I ended up from having a lovely family home and a lovely office in Guildford to working out of my mum's card making room in her house that was about the size of a phone box, and my desk was about as big as a Yellow Pages. So, and I found that I was sleeping on the floor while my kids had the beds. I was taking them to 2 different schools twice a day and trying to run a business and trying to get back on my feet and trying to replenish the war chest that I once had from having lost family home and a business partner and paid off him a big check as well as the ex. Now, I found myself driving usually 1,000 miles a week. I was doing appointments because I went into absolute crazy mode. And I was working in excess of 100 hours a week. That had a detrimental effect on my health, my heart, my eyesight. At the time, I got involved in internet marketing and I had this epiphany moment where I suddenly realised, talking to a dentist of all things, is that people don't ask the dentist to come to them. They go to the dentist because he's got all the tools and the chair and everything. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to create that for me too. So then I became the dentist. I'd taken on a PA, who you all know, who does a phenomenal job for me. And she took the strain out of my life to enable me to work at a higher level. It enabled me to do the things that were important. But that little one thing of working by using Skype to interview people, to have meetings, meant I didn't actually need to leave my home. So I then gained all that travel time I was gaining. I wasn't spending money on petrol, and I could have a 20-minute meeting. Because I once drove to the other side of Plymouth from Guildford for a 20-minute meeting. I didn't even get a cup of tea. And then I drove all the way back. So I was out for a good 8 hours. The clients were rubbish. I sacked them. We didn't get any business. I didn't get a cup of tea. I could have done all that without leaving anywhere. I spent about 250 quid on fuel. So I was down 8 hours, lost a client, spent all that cash. Could have been done on Skype in 20 minutes, over and done with, and I haven't left. I could be sitting there in my dressing gown. Right, so time management. Think smart. That is important. The next one is delegation. I will openly admit that I am the world's worst delegator, without a shadow of a doubt. I am world record standard, world class, Olympic gold, European and World Cup holding champion of delegation, i.e. not doing it. Because in my opinion, and my attention to detail and the way I like to do things, no one does the job better than me. I'm completely wrong. I am absolutely, completely wrong. And I have realised that because I've surrounded myself with a fantastic team, Emma, Harry and Grace, who do the things that I don't want to do far better than I ever did them. They do them more efficiently and quicker, and they've invented better systems. So if there's stuff that you don't want to do that's clogging up your day, delegate it, because there is someone out there who likes doing what you don't want to do, and pay them to do it, because it's only going to free up your time. Smile. Number 45 is smile. Smiling doesn't wear you out as much as frowning, because frowning uses something like 45 muscles in your head. Smiling uses 17. So if you're frowning, you're wearing yourself out. Smile, you automatically feel better about yourself. I smile at everybody. I know people think I'm a bit weird, but smile. It's amazing the response that you'll get back. Number 46, deportment. This is not about putting a book on your head in your Swiss finishing school, ladies, and walking around. It's about just how you stand and how you feel. And if I look like this, I look miserable, don't I? My shoulders are hunched, I'm looking down, I'm all sallow-faced. You don't get a great feel about wanting to connect with me. But if I stand up, put my shoulders back and my chest out, and I put my chin up and I smile, I look a completely different guy. Right? And then people will naturally warm to working with me and communicate with me. Number 47, we're nearly there. Make people feel better about themselves. Middle of the meeting this morning, the doorbell went. It was the guy from DHL delivering a parcel. And I went out there and we had a chat for a couple of minutes. And when I came back in, the guys in the room here said, wow. He said, we loved the way you spoke to that guy. And we heard him go up the drive whistling and that because you made him feel better. You thanked him for what he'd done. You hoped he had a good day. And you said it was nice to see him. I'd never seen the guy before in my life, but we had a great chat. So it's good that always be nice and civil and polite to everyone. Because when you put that out there, you get it back. Law of attraction. It's a game of inches, guys. Number 48, get referable. I never have to cold call anymore. I don't have to do mail shots. Business comes to me every day because I've become referable for a few things really, because I know what I'm doing. I understand what I'm doing. I can deliver. I provide for clients. I provide a relationship. I provide professionalism. I provide creativity. And I provide leadership. These are all things that you can learn. Because of all of those things, people move me on to other people. Now, these are the things that you need to practice. And again, you'll get referable when you ooze that confidence, when you get that product knowledge, when you have those sales skills. You'll get that confidence when you look the part, when you turn up looking like you're meant to be there. You won't get referable if you turn up being disorganised, not knowing what you're talking about, lying to the client, have got bad breath, smell, you name it, walk dog shit up their hall. All of those of the above are not going to get you referable. They're not even going to get you any business. So all of these inches today are going to get you referable. Number 49, when I talk to you, I will use your name a lot. When I'm in a sales meeting, if you've been in a sales meeting with me, you see I will use the client's name a lot. It's a little thing, but it's the one word that people like to hear the most. And number 50, I always say please and thank you. I always, at the end of a client meeting, I'll always say to the client, Thank you very much for becoming a client. Really proud to have you on board. Thank you very much for entrusting us to look after your financial affairs. I really look forward to serving you over the future years. Thank you. That's simple. So there's our top 50 inches. You start to adopt some of those inches and you will watch a significant change in your life. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye now.